So how's it going, my comic chat army? We're here today with Tyler Carpenter. That didn't come out like I wanted it to. The creator of the Girl with the Mega Fist, and what's the other one? Demons?
It's called Demons, yeah.
Okay. And where can we pick these books up at?
Yeah, so hopefully, probably by the time this episode comes out in a week, you'll be able to get them on my website, drawandtalkcomics.com. And if you ever need updates on what I'm doing, I'm pretty active on Twitter, Tyler_C_world, and YouTube.com/drawandtalk. All
right. So, what got you into comics?
Yeah, so I've been making comics honestly since I was like 12. My friends were really into manga, and I liked drawing, and so they gave me this like Shonen Jump issue. It was like that thick, and it had like, early chapters of Naruto, or early chapters of these really popular like series that are out now. And I just like fell in love with drawing. I made my own comic book series. I still have it. I drew a 500-page comic from year like 4th to 6th grade, and I still have it. It's called The Quiet Spy. He's not quiet. He kills everyone, and it's really loud because I didn't know what a silencer was back then. So I made comics, and then it wasn't cool to make comics, and it wasn't cool to read comics, and so I got into music. Started a band, blah, blah, got cool. And then at 19, I'll tell this story. I said it a couple times. I'm 19 years old. I'm pretty depressed. I'm like not enjoying anything. I'm on Pirate Bay trying to download porn. And all of a sudden this pop-up pops up in the midst of my download. It says, the Joker's ripped his face off. Can Batman stop him? And I'm like, what is this? Like, why is this coming up on my porn download? And I was like, well, that actually sounds a lot more interesting than this porn. So I like click on the ad, and it takes me to DC Comics. And I love the character of Batman, but I never read a comic. And so I was like, and the New 52 had just come out. They restarted the universe. I went over to my comic book shop. They were like, this is what you got to do. And I've been reading comics since. And then I was like, man, like 2 or 3 years later, I was like, man, like I can draw. I used to be able to draw and create stories. Now I want to create my own comic book stories. And from there, I've been making, and then that was 2015. I've been making comics ever since.
Nice. I see you got some art back there on the table. Is that out publicly, or is this the first time we're seeing it?
This art? Can you see this?
I can.
Oh, so this is Ranella. Do you know Wendy Gale?
I don't think so.
Do you know Chuck Pino?
Yeah, I do.
This is Chuck Pino's wife's character. So she's coming out with a book called Biscarian Tales, and I was the first artist to do comic book art for her. We did a 4-pager, and so I'm actually getting ready to like send this out to her.
Nice.
To send this out for her, and she's getting ready to do a Kickstarter in a couple months. So super excited for that.
I'm gonna have to interview her then. We love Chuck. Chuck is awesome.
Chuck's great. Great.
So, are you open to commissions? Like,
yeah,
if anybody needs any work?
It honestly depends. I have a lot on my plate. Like, I manage a YouTube channel, I manage a Patreon, I manage, all of the books that I do are 200 pages. So like which means that I am constantly drawing my own book. I have to do anywhere from 10 to 12 pages every 10 days to keep up my release schedule. So I always say that I'll always make time for someone if they have commission, if they want me to draw a story. Like if it's a short story, like, and you want to pay me, absolutely. If it's a long story, I sometimes will give people like an FU price. And if they say yes, then I'll do it. If I'll make time to do it. And if not, that's that. But I'm pretty focused right now on my own stuff currently.
Okay. Can we talk about your stuff that you're drawing?
Absolutely.
Tell us about it. What's the elevator pitch for the girl with giant fist? Mega fist.
Mega fist. Yeah. So this is it. We just released a volume 1. It's 200 pages, wield the mega fist. So the girl with the mega fist is about a girl named Eliana who's been chosen by the gods to wield the mega fist and the most powerful gauntlets in the universe. And she has been tasked to protect Earth for a certain amount of time. And so and at the same time as well, she has to take a partner down to Earth, and the gods have chosen these two twin brothers. And so the dilemma, besides training to become the ultimate hero, is which of these two twin brothers that she's been raised with is she going to bring down to Earth? Is she going to bring the one who's the most powerful, who's the strongest, who's going to help her, fight the battles, or is she going to choose the one that has her heart, who she's in love with? And so we're playing with a little bit of like a choosing your destiny, fighting against your destiny. There's romance in there. There's a lot of slice of life. It's really just it's a coming of age story. It's about it's about these three friends who basically have been told their whole lives that they have to do this. They have to become heroes and go protect, these people on Earth. They don't know who they are, and they're chosen by the gods to do it. And why do they have to go down? Why do we have to protect these people? Why do I have to choose between two of my best friends to take them down? Why can't I bring both of them? And so a lot of drama, a lot of action. It's a fun story.
Where can we pick it up at?
We just finished the Kickstarter, and I'm currently, as of like after this interview, I'm gonna finish up the final 23 packages and ship those out, and then it'll be available. So if anyone in the future is watching this, you'll be able to get a copy on drawandtalkcomics.com. You'll be able to get it on Amazon, Global Comics, and if you're like, man, Tyler, I can't find any of that stuff, hit me up on Twitter or YouTube, and I'll be like, yeah, this is where it is.
Okay. I need you to send me the Amazon link. I'll pick a copy up. For sure.
Yeah, I'm right now fighting with Amazon because my initial print was with Amazon, and then I fixed like a spelling mistake, re-uploaded it, and they're like, yeah, your file doesn't work. I'm like, why? It worked fine the last time. Like, what's the problem? So I'm right now fighting with Amazon, but once it is, I'll let you know.
Okay. And you've got a YouTube channel. What do you do on your YouTube channel?
Yeah, my YouTube channel has evolved over the years. My YouTube channel used to be this how to make comics channel. So like, it's how to write a comic book script, how to draw a panel. Then it turned into like how to market a comic, and I started bringing on like interviewing creators and whatnot. And then last year I took all that content off of my channel and revamped it so now it's more of a commentary channel and book review channel. So maybe for a month I'll spend like the next like 3 or 4 videos just focusing on a series that I'm really enjoying. For example, I got really into this book called Chainsaw Man, and I spent 3 videos just talking about, like, the first video was like, I'm obsessed with Chainsaw Man. These are the 3 reasons why I think you should read it. Then like the next video was like, this is the moment, like it was like an analysis video on like what I think defined Chainsaw Man, like a moment that defined the whole story. And then like a third one was like talking about a specific character. And so, yeah, my videos are basically about the things that I enjoy reading, and I hope my goal is to have someone watch that video and go, oh, he really likes this book, I should go pick that book up. And then every week we do a weekly live stream where we'll look on some comic book news, see what's going on in the community, have some fights. Okay. Maybe we'll do some comic book interviews with some creators. It's a silly goose time.
Do you talk about the Disney Plus shows at all?
No, I keep it pretty, like the only time I did talk about something that was not comic book related was the Hawkeye series, the Disney Plus Hawkeye series, because someone on Facebook was like, this show is woke. And the reasonings that they gave for it being woke were like the stupidest reasons I've ever heard. Like, I don't care what your political spectrum is. Like, I if you want to say this is woke, then I go, yeah, that's woke. I don't really enjoy that. But I really enjoyed the Hawkeye series, and his reasons for it being woke were not actual reasons. He was just like, if girls talking and being friends is woke, then like we're in trouble. Everything's woke. So that's the only time I ever commentated on that. But most of the time, it's very much, comic book and manga. That's really what I focus on.
Okay. Demons. What's the elevator pitch for Demons?
Oh, man. Demons. I'm so excited for this. So if you're watching this right now, we have the Kickstarter coming out on May 11th. So that's next week for me. Demons is the story of Detective Ace Carter, who's essentially an atheist. And he he is chasing a perp, shoots him in the back, and the guy turns into this demonic monster. And he's like, crap, what the heck is this thing? Goes to his father, who's a priest, who he hasn't talked to in years, and he starts uncovering this like conspiracy of this like satanic cult. There's this like secret government agency, and somehow like his whole family is tied into this thing that he didn't know about. And so initially, this was my very first series that I actually like really started pushing out to people in 2016. I worked with an awesome artist. His name is Travis Martinez. At the time, I wasn't confident in my art, so I hired Travis Martinez to do the art, and we got this book published. The publisher was Insane Comics. They're not around anymore, and they said, well, we'll pick it up for a 4-issue series. We did a 4-issue mini series. The sales were so good for this publisher that by the 4th issue they were like, hey, do you have any more? Like, we want to keep this going. So it ended up being a 15-issue series that we did, 15 issues series. We turned it into 3 graphic novels that we crowdfunded, and now those books were really expensive to put out. They're $20 each, and so if you wanted all 3 volumes, it was $60. And so for this final release, I call it the final release because it's kind of like its final form. Here's the print proof. We made the size a little smaller. We turned the pages into black and white, and we put all the volumes into one book, and it's going to be like $20. So it's great for new readers. It's 370 pages. So it's
like an omnibus.
It's an omnibus. It is an omnibus. There we go. Yeah. So yeah, that's something that I like for like me as a comic book creator. I'm always trying to figure out how can I make a good story, but also make it affordable for the readers. And so like, 370 pages, for $20, I feel like that's a steal. When we do the Girl with the Mega Fist, these books are 200 pages. We charge $15 plus shipping on them. We really want people to get reading comics. I say we, it's just me, but I really want people to get reading my comics. And the world is going through crap right now, and money's always tight for everyone, including me. So if I can make less in order for someone to get to read a story that maybe takes them out of their real world problems, that's always a plus for me.
Sweet. So you're the artist. Have you put yourself anywhere in your comics, like in the background or anywhere?
Yeah. I put a ton of Easter eggs in a lot of my comics. I'll put myself. If I do a crowd scene, like I just drew a crowd scene the other day. I put like Aragorn in the back, Goku in the back. And there was like another like aerial crowd scene. And I was like, I have to draw all these people. And I was just getting so bored. Like, what do you do? Like, and so like the focus is over at the top of the page, but if you look at the bottom, there's actually like I don't know if you're familiar with Yu-Gi-Oh, but like. Yeah. It's the characters of Yu-Gi-Oh, and they're like dueling with cards, and they've got and like the people in this made up city are like all cheering them on, and like you'll miss it if you don't see it. I've got Batman and Joker like walking around in this fantasy setting. So yeah, I'll put my friends in there. My friend Nicholas, he has a character called Demon Hunter Raven, and I turned his character into like a plushie, and I just threw it in like in someone's bedroom. So yeah, it's fun to do that.
Nice. Comic-Cons, where are you gonna pop up at next?
Dude, I don't like Comic-Cons.
Okay.
I like Comic-Cons. They're just so stupid expensive. Like they're stupid expensive, and like a lot of the fans are like really into the not comic stuff. So like last year I did Free Comic Book Day. I had a miserable experience doing it, and I was like, I'm never going to this particular store ever again. I'm doing Free Comic Book Day this Saturday, and if it's just as bad, I'm just gonna pack up my bags and leave. It's definitely hard. I do enjoy doing cons. It was a lot easier when I was single. Like I've done Denver, I've done Arizona, I've done Las Vegas. I can't even get into Salt Lake, and I live like down the street. So
is it so big or just so many?
The wait list is, I've been on there for like 4 years, and then they just keep raising their prices every year. And I'm just like, do I even want to do this? So it just depends. I'd love to do cons if they were cheaper.
Okay. Is it socially acceptable to go as a fan and solicit your book that way?
I don't think so. It's like that's like those moral gray areas.
Okay.
It's one of those moral gray areas. Like I know I could do that, and I know the people who paid for the tables would be like pissed because they're like, who's this guy? He got in and he's just like selling his book and he didn't pay for a table or a vendor space. So it's definitely so I don't think I don't think I'd do that.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think I'd do that.
Yeah, that'd be wild, wouldn't it?
But if you want to, you can. When you eventually make your own book, you can do that and you can get kicked out. And,
right.
Yeah.
We'll put a GoPro on me and have like a little wagon, whole little setup.
And the video can have like a timer, like how fast can I get kicked out?
Right.
I'll get views.
I like it. As an artist, what would you say, or not? It doesn't even have to be art. What would you say people's biggest issue with sending you scripts is? Like biggest mistake?
When they send me scripts?
Yeah.
If I get a script that's like sometimes with writers, if they send a script, they don't really understand, like, especially new writers, they don't understand like how to write a comic book. So if they say panel 1, the character grabs the sword, swings it up onto his head, and then chops the guy's head off. I'm like, well, dude, that's like 3 actions. So like in the whole panel, he's like they're doing multiple things. Sometimes like for me, if I ever write a script, I try to keep it 4 to 5 panels. If I draw a comic, I keep it 4 to 6 panels max. Very rarely do I go, okay, let's do a 9-panel grid. I just think for like newer writers, they don't understand the pacing of a comic. They don't understand the beauty of the page turn. Like that's like the page turn, like that's the big moment. And even for me, I'm guilty. Sometimes it just so happens that I can't get it on the page turn and I have to put it on the other page, and I look at that and I go, I hate myself, but that's just what happened. But I remember working with one creator, and like their dialogue covered up the whole page. Like there was so much dialogue that it didn't even fit in the panel, and so it covered up all my art. So when I read the script, I was like, you need to edit this text. And they're like, no, I don't. I was like, okay, well, then I'll send you the page. I literally lettered the comic first, and then if I ever saw some like space, I would just draw something. And they're like, yo, I can't see your art. I'm like, yeah, it's covered by your dialogue. You wouldn't edit it. So I think dialogue and not understanding pace for writers.
Okay. Has there ever been a script that came to you and you read it and just turned it down? It's like, no, I'm not doing this. I want to put my name on this.
Yes, but it wasn't because I didn't like the script. It was because I didn't feel like I could draw what they wanted me to draw. So like sometimes, like as an artist, starving artist, you want to say yes to everything because it's money. It's money in the bank. Someone goes, hey, I want you to draw this thing. I'll pay you X amount. You're like, oh my gosh, I'm about to get paid to draw. I like drawing. I like money. This is great. And for me, I'm always like, being someone who, like, I paid Travis Martinez for every page on here. So I understand as a writer sending someone money. And so as an artist, I really respect the writer's bank account. And if a writer sends me their project and even if I don't like it, I won't take their money. And if I like it, but I'm just like, I won't do their script justice, then I'll turn it down. And I've done that a lot of times where I'm like, hey, this is great. I'm not your guy. Like, I can't draw this. It'll look bad if I do it. Like, you're going to want this. I don't want you to spend $1,000 on me and be unhappy with it.
Right. All right, Tyler, that's all the time we got for today. Is there anything you want to say before we go?
No, guys, you guys can find me at youtube.com/drawandtalk, and you can find me on Twitter at Tyler_C_world. Those are the 2 platforms that I'm most active on. And if you want early access to all my books. If you go to patreon.com/JohnTalk, the $2 tier gets you access to every digital comic that I make and all my content. Pretty good deal.
All right, man. Thank you.
Thanks, dude.
What? You mean you haven't subscribed to Comic Chat Authority? Oh, come on. Subscribe already. What are you waiting for? It's no big deal. Like, man, don't forget to tell him to hit that like button. Yeah, that too. Just subscribe.